Good morning and welcome to my channel. My name is Christina and I like to colour. Now today I'm going to do the prince. He's going to have a blue suit with his skeleton body and some blood on him. He's going to have a little bit of a glow like his horses do, just because I wanted to carry over the theme. Now I swear my camera is either moving this way or my desk is moving that way, because I used to sit in the middle of my desk and now I'm sitting right at the edge. I don't know what is going on. Something's going on and I don't want to move anything, because knowing my luck I will just break everything. So I'm sitting right at the edge of my desk, which is really irritating, but first world problems, doesn't matter. Like I said yesterday with the tutorial for the dress, I'm going to do all of these dirty. These are going to be crumbling, these poles. Some of the stained glass is going to be broken. The chandeliers are going to be pristine, just like these two. The floor is going to be dirty. I'm going to get rid of these buildings here. They don't, whatever they are, they don't mean anything to me. I don't want them there, so it's going to be a black night, and luckily the Prismacolor black does an amazing job at getting rid of things like that. So there'll be no buildings there. But yeah, I'm going to get started on him. He won't take very long. And then I'm going to do the rest of it as a colour along. Hopefully finish it today or tomorrow. So yeah, I'll get onto that and I'll see you later. Bye. So this is what she looks like and what he looks like and what this lovely young lady looks like in her lovely clean clothes. So I've done the tutorial on all three of them. I've also done the tiles. Well, I haven't quite finished yet. I'm still going to add some more stains and make it look even more dirty and grotty, and I haven't done them. But the style I'm going for is dirty and grotty, except for them and the chandeliers. So I hope you enjoy this tutorial and I will see you at the end. Bye. So as I'm sitting on the side of my desk almost falling off, I have what's it, this is Holbein middle phthalo blue, and I'm going to do his whole suit in this colour lightly. So unless I say heavy, it's implied that I'm doing it lightly. And if you heard that banging, that is my washing machine having a fit. Let's go. So now I'm going to do a layer of indigo blue on the shadows, and it's going to be a light layer. I'm leaving this bit white, and I'm doing a different, this is going to be different, so I'm leaving that alone right now. So it's going to be lightly on the shadows, and it's just like I did with the dress, building up layers. Now I'm going to use black very lightly in some of the darker shadows, and then I'm going to go over it again with the blues. And I'm going to work my way back up to the light blue. So indigo blue again over all the bits that I just did the indigo blue on. So one of the reasons I go back over the black with the blue is so that when I blend with the lighter colour, I'm actually blending the blue and not the black, because if you just do the black and then do this one, you're going to smudge black everywhere. Trust me, I've done it. I learnt from it. Don't do it. So now I've got the Holbein again, the middle phthalo blue, and I'm going to go over the whole thing again. Actually, it's polychromos. I thought I grabbed the Holbein, but it's actually polychromos. I was just looking at the name. So forget the Holbein, it's polychromos. The main reason I realised was because I was wondering why I didn't have to sharpen it after the first use, because using Holbeins you have to sharpen pretty regularly. And I thought, gee, this Holbein is holding up pretty well, and then I saw the name. Oops. Now I'm going to add Sky Blue Light, I think it is. Mine's getting tiny, so the name's rubbed off. Pretty sure it's Sky Blue Light, Prismacolor. Mainly on the highlights. up again with the darker colour, so indigo blue. Now, like I said previously, I like to do layers just because I just like to build it up. Obviously I can't get as many layers on a colouring book than I can on Stonehenge paper and things like that, but I try my best to get the layers because I like to get the shadows darker, the lights lighter, and I like to colour these lines on here. I don't, that Kerby puts in there for the shadows. I like to colour them as well. I like to have mostly hidden. And for this one I'm using a little bit, not light, but probably medium pressure on the darker shadows with the indigo blue because I want the darks to come out. And back to the black just for the darkest shadows and the creases and that. I don't know about you, but while I'm sitting here colouring, I usually listen to heinous crimes on that people have done on YouTube, the true crime thingy. Right now I'm listening to the Laurie Vallow Daybell, her trial of killing her fourth husband, Charles Vallow. And tomorrow I will be listening to the Karen Reid second trial. We don't show our trials in Australia. Australia basically hides everything that happens and it's very boring. And I finally discovered, it's my washing machine again, I finally discovered where I could watch trials in America and I was like, oh. And so yeah, that is what I listen to. I listen to Murder Mayhem and you hear some horrible things, you really do. And that's why I colour. You can see how it looks so much better with the darks getting darker and the lights obviously getting lighter as the darks get darker. So I'm just going to go back to the lights again and then I'm going to blend it all together. So indigo blue over the shadows, and then the Holbein Polychromos over the rest of it, and then I might do the cloud sky blue light, I don't know. And I haven't coloured in here yet because I'm still undecided. It would probably be black, but I might have a little tinge of red and not blue because her dress is going to be glowing into him and he's going to have blood on his bones, so it's probably going to be black with red over the top. So next is the Polychromos Holbein. I'm going to do the whole suit again, not that lightly, not hard. And now I'm just looking at it after finishing my snake, and just going to touch up some bits that I don't like, so I can still see these dark lines and I don't like seeing that, so I'm going to go over that with indigo blue. And now if I can find it, I'm going to get my blender. It blends in. It's impossible to find. This is a Caran d'Ache full blender. I do prefer these over a lot of other ones. I've used quite a few, and this one just seems to do it right for me, the way I like it, so I'm going to stick with these ones. So I'm just going to go over the whole lot with this blender, and then I might use this Derwent eraser to bring out some of the highlights, and then I might darken again, and then hopefully it should be done. Just going to pull out a couple of the highlights. Just going to touch this up a little bit, make it not so bright and not so dark, so I'm just going to go over it a little bit with indigo blue. And black again, just because I am what's the word, pedantic. I need to get it the way I like it, otherwise I get annoyed and I obsess about it. So yeah, just darkening some bits. Now, because I'm doing a glow around him, I'm going to use sky blue light and just do the glow around this bit. I haven't decided if it's going to be around his head yet. Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. But if you're not doing a glow, then don't worry about this, but this is sky blue light. Now she will also have a bit of the blue glow on her, so it is going to be just on her arm here. And on the edge of her face. Now if I don't put that in now, I will forget, so that's why I'm doing it now. I'm still deciding about his head, so I'll leave that for now. Just going to get the blender again. See how when you do the blender you lose your highlights a little bit? So that is usually why I then get the eraser out and erase some of the highlights again. But I just like the way that the blender smooths everything and, well, blends the colours together. But like I said, if you do it over black, you're going to get the black smooshed into everything. Get off. So now I've got the eraser again. You can use whatever eraser. I never used one of these. I thought it was silly in colouring, but I used it a few weeks ago and it actually did quite a good job. The kneadable eraser is more precise. You can get it to a point. And this eraser here is more thorough, not precise, unless you you know, use sandpaper to sandpaper down the little tip thingy. And I want these stripes to be fairly light, so I'm going to use the sky blue light. And the black just to go over and darken the lines on all these patterns here. Just the ones that are easy, some of them are very close and I'm just going to end up making a mess. So I'll do the best I can, but I don't want to ruin what I've just coloured in, if you know what I mean. And trying to keep a Prismacolor sharp is pretty difficult. I should have chosen the polychromos, but I am a creature of habit. And now I'm going to use the Polychromos Middle Phthalo Blue to do these ones in here. I'm going to keep the background of this white and that white as well. And then I'm going to do his shoes black and probably his belt black as well. I'm going to try my best to go over these bits with black. I might change this. Now, now I'm going to go over his whole skeleton with 10% cool grey. And now 20% cool grey to start going over the shadows on the skeleton. I actually want to do some red on him, so I'm going to place the red before I do the shadows, because there's no point putting the shadows if I'm going to put red on there. So this is Crimson Lake. Now I'm going to go straight to the, oops, that's warm grey. Cool grey, 90% cool grey, and do the shadows that I didn't do with red. I'm going to go over the head again, trying not to get the red bits with 10% grey. Going to add the blood again with Crimson Lake. Going to get the 90% cool grey again, just reinforce the shadows. And I'm going to do a layer of Crimson Lake on here. It's not going to do much, but if you look close you can see that it's red black now, not just black. And now I'm just getting black for the shadows. And I think this is a bow tie. Yeah, I'm just going to do this as a bow tie. So black. And white just on this middle bit here on the bow tie thing. And then black again I'm going to do a black belt because he knows karate. And white now for some highlights. And black again. And white again. Now I would think normally that you would have black laces with black shoes, but then it's just going to be one big black smudge. So I might leave it at white, or maybe do blue or another colour. Yeah, do whatever colour you think. I just don't think black would be good because it's just going to turn into one big blob. But that's just me. I think if you went out with black shoes and white laces, you might get a few looks. But you're not being coloured, you're being looked at. So the world of colouring is different to the world of the world. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. I usually go over it again, just looking at things that I don't like. So if I don't think that this is dark enough, I'll go over it again. If I don't think I've got the layers done right, then I'll go over it again. And see, I don't know if you can see, but it's black, but it's also red. You can tell it's red, so there's either the glow of his bones or her glow. And I still haven't decided if I'm putting the glow around his head yet. Yeah, I get distracted quite easily. So that is pretty much him, except for his shoelaces. Like I said, that's easily done. Do whatever you want. I might leave it white, I might turn it blue. I don't know, I'll decide at the end probably. But yeah, that is pretty much him done. I'm just going to get 20% cool grey and just go over some of these bits here. Because I've been sitting for a while and I need to go for a walk because I'm rushing. When I start rushing, I know I need to go for a walk and have a break. So I'm going to get my white. Try not to do what I just did. I don't know how I did that. There's no red there, but try not to go over the red because you will smudge the red. And turn it pink. And I'm pretty sure a scary prince guy doesn't want his face to be pink. And I would normally put like a reflection in his eye, but I actually like it being red. So I'm going to leave that as red. Not 100% with the belt. And that is my watch telling me it is time to stand up. As I said, I am starting to rush, so I'm going to go for a walk. Bye. So I thought I would show you how I'm going to do this dress. So it's going to be in the tutorial with him. Hers is pretty quick. It's going to be dirty and ripped. So I'm starting with white on this bottom bit. So next I'm going to do the 30% cool grey on the shadows and the lines there. So I want to put a rip in her dress, so I'm going to use black to do the rip. I'm just going to darken these shadows and these pleats or whatever they are here on 70% cool grey. Going to blend it together. I'm going to go around the bottom of the dress with black. And then I'm going to get dark brown and do some stains. Because the bottom of her dress is going to be dirty. Almost had the wrong colour. I'm going to blend it with white again. Just the brown stains. That sounds good. At least it's not her underwear, I suppose. Don't go over the black. Now I'm going to do the pleats with this 90% Cool Grey. It's not yet brown enough, so I've got dark brown again. Just going to go over it again. Going to blend the brown with white. Just got some black to do some shadows. Some more dark brown. Just to do an outline on these holes. And this is yellow chartreuse. I'm going to do this part of her dress. So I just realised why I wasn't getting the muddy look that I wanted. It's because I was using the lighter brown, and I found the brown I actually wanted dark umber. So I'm going to go over some of this with the dark umber. Just because she's dirty. Or her dress is dirty. I don't know if she's going to be dirty. I haven't decided. Yeah, that's the brown I wanted. It helps if you get the right brown, Christina. Yeah. Now back to this one. I'm going to use sienna brown for these shadows. Sharpen it so you can get in that little hole there. Would you have noticed sienna brown doesn't stay sharp very long? Going to blend it all together with the yellow chartreuse. Now some dark umber to go over some shadows and to add some dirt. So I'm going to blend it all together with the yellow chartreuse. And see how it softens it into like a stain. And some more dirt, dark umber. And blend it out again. dark umber again. And blend it all softly. Not that. I'm going to make all these little things here holes, so I'm going to make them black. And the white gel pen to go around all the holes just to give it an outline. So there he is in his suit, and there she is in her lovely clean clothes. So I'm going to finish this page. Oh, and I've done the tiles too. They're dirty. So I'm going to finish this page, and yeah, I'll see you next time.